I've been taking long drives with my dogs. I'm doing a lot of thinking. And the morning that I prayed right before my narcissist died, well, I prayed about that I couldn't leave him, and I loved him, and I needed to be by his side and go through everything with him, because I had it in my mind that he just really didn't know what love was, and that I needed to love him. I needed to love him until the very end. And I mean, he was having a lot of heart pains, but he'd always been having heart pains, and he never would take care of himself. And he was always sickly, and he was always in pain, but he worked his butt off, and climbed ladders, and was always in pain with his shoulder and his hip, and he didn't hardly ever eat, and I really felt obligated that I needed to show him love. And that morning before he died, I prayed to God that and tried to help God understand that I really loved this man with all my heart, and I felt like I needed to be there with him, and I was spiritually married to him, and I could not move on. That was the main thing I told God. I cannot move on. I cannot have another relationship until this man is gone or I'm gone. I just can't. And I had told my brother the week before that he was probably going to die, that the man that I loved was probably going to die because he was having a lot of heart pains. But he did not want to go to the hospital or the doctor. He was always too busy whoring around with all his women and working and doing things like that. So why would he care about going to the doctor to take care of his health? He was too busy doing other things. So I was driving with my sweet dogs, and we're actually in the middle of nowhere right now. A lot of hog country out here, but I got my knife with me. But anyway, I just would like to say that I fulfilled what I was supposed to do in my own mind. I fulfilled that part of my life that I needed to show him love until the very end. And even though it practically stole my soul and killed me with cancer and pancreatitis and all the other stomach issues that narcissists leave you with, because I was very, very sick, very sick. And if you look at pictures when we were living together from, in 2016 to about 2020, you'll swear it wasn't even me. I don't look anything like the way that I look now. I was very overweight. I had swollen eyes all the time. I looked very sickly, and my body grew a tumor that was 6 inches that was laying on top of my uterus. They accidentally found it right about the time that I was getting very, very sick, and I did not know why. And they accidentally found it when I had fallen at work and I was having hip problems. So that was in November, and of course in December I had the hysterectomy, and I had my appendix out, and I had the tumor taken out. And then of course in February, my narcissist and I are a couple hours away and from where I live, and during intercourse my cuff breaks, so I almost died then, with my intestines hanging out of my vagina. So I had to have emergency surgery then. So he proved himself how much he really didn't care, because I remember for about 3 weeks he barely called me. He's the one that broke my cuff and I almost died. And I had other people checking in on me and making sure that I was okay. I had one man that lives by me that was making sure everything was paid for, that I had food, that I was resting. My narc barely checked on me, and I even told him, I said, you broke my cuff, and you would think that you would be checking on me, but you aren't even here. You're nowhere. I can't even get a hold of you. You don't even call. You don't care. And he never really replied back to that. Like, he just kind of blew it off. And I think he, like, for a day or two, he actually tried to show a little bit more compassion towards me. I think he actually came out a couple days later, or he told me, I really need to come out there and see you. Well, I lived about an hour and 17 minutes from him. So that's why he got away with his secret life. That's why he got away with all his women. But you know what? He had a secret life when we were living together too, because that's why he always accused me and fought with me, because he had that secret life that was going. And he wanted to say that I had the secret life. And he was tormenting me, telling me I had the secret life. I couldn't even go to work without being called a whore. I remember one time I was driving in the van and I was going to the airport with my customers. And he told me that I was on Messenger talking to other men. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm driving in the van. I've got like 9 people in my van. And he said that I was nothing but a liar and I had a secret life going. And here, Nevaeh, don't let it fall down the hill. And that I had a secret life, and I was like, no, I'm actually just in the van. Well, he wanted to see the conversation what I was doing exactly at that moment. He told me that I better pull up a conversation that I was having right then. I was like, the only conversation I'm having is with you. And I mean, that was just one instance. I could go on over and over and over about all the accusations. I mean, he would literally see people that were not there. He was delusional. And then he would tell me that I was talking to other men and setting up dates to have sex with them in the park. And I'm like, I was nowhere near anybody. I was right here. There was nobody near me. And he would say, yes, they were. They were right here. And I was like, no, they weren't. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I was standing here waiting for you. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I went through every single day when we were living together. And I felt like I needed to marry him in order to make it right in front of the eyes of God, because I didn't want to be having sex outside of marriage. I had done enough whoring in my life, being with many people, both men and women, in my young youth age. And I was older now, and I had God had convicted my heart, and I wanted to be with only one man, and that was him. But he never, ever, ever believed in me. He never trusted me. He didn't care about me. Even though I knew him since we were 14, and I thought, well, since I was 14, he was 11. And I thought when I got with him that he would protect me from all the evil in the world. But he was the most evil monster that there ever walked. But the main thing that I want to tell everybody is I did what I was supposed to do. I loved him until the end. I did not just drop him off and say, you know what, I'm done with you, narcissist, like what we're told to do. I loved him until the very end. And I'm just going to tell people out here that if that's the choice you want to make, and you want your heart to be broken so you know that they're dead and they left you, like mine left me with another woman that was coughing in the background the morning that he died, and then he lied and said that there wasn't anybody there. There's nobody here. Nobody. If you want to be left with something like that and be able to have to grieve somebody's death, that you're like, wait a minute, did he really die? Is he really gone forever? And I can never ever talk to him again. I will never get any kind of truth out. I mean, not like they're ever going to tell you the truth, but I mean, it's just like there is absolutely no closure at all. So if you think that there's no closure when they're alive and they leave you, think about when they're dead and they leave you. It's so much different. It's so much worse. So, but I did what I was supposed to do in my mind. I loved him until the bitter end. And I just want to let everybody know that it hurts either way. It hurts so bad either way. And I've been taking a lot of trips, drives, walking a lot, thinking a lot, trying to get through this. And I just want everybody to understand that if you do love them to the very end and you put up with them to the very end, when they go, they're going to take something with them. They're going to take part of you with them. And you're going to have to piece yourself back together. And I'm still piecing myself back together. My anxiety every morning is horrible. Horrible. But I'm getting a little tiny better, a bit better every day. And I'll tell you who is taking that pain and that sorrow and that suffering away from me. Not only spending time with my precious animals, you know, I got a lot, but also the Lord. The Lord is working on me. And do you know that the Lord told me everything that was going to happen? He told me that I was going to be gone from my sex. He told me that that I was not going to be having sex with Kyle anymore after my cuff broke. He told me all these things. And I was listening because I knew that something was changing in my life. And do you know everything he told me? I never told anybody, but now that it's happened, I'm like, wow, God had mercy on me and he spared my life so I can come and tell you. So I can come and tell you, God is real and God is our salvation. Don't let our narcissist be our savior, because he was mine for a long time. I believed I idolized him in a way that my life revolved around him. Don't let yours do that to you. Just pray that everything will be taken from you. All the pain, the sorrow, the suffering, and the missing him or her. And be blessed, be surrounded by God's angels and love, and let God pick you up and lift you up out of this darkness and hold you tight in his arms. Peace out.